2, 1.
What's good, wagering world? It's your boy, 5-Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. Hey man, it's a great day to be alive. We're back in here with you guys. Another week of football betting. Now we got basketball involved. As teams start to dwindle down. Hey man, hit that like button right now if you're rocking with the wagering world. As always, another winning week, and as always, I'm in here with my two co-hosts. First of all, let's start with the OG of the show. He's been with me since day one, man. Hey, he's the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spreader? How are you?
Man, I'm excited to talk some sports today, and we got a lot to talk about, so I can't wait to dive right in.
Yeah, it was a really busy weekend in sports and week as well. You know, the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. We also got the youngest guy to ever operate a casino sports book on the Las Vegas Strip, my little brother, and he's got a companion with him today. Is that my girl, Eris?
Hey, yeah, this Eris.
What up, Cino Royale?
Wow, what's up, brother, man? What's up, Wage and Real? I got Eris with me today. She on one. She been giving me a rough time between. Hey, look, knocking stuff down. Watch this. Hey, give me a kiss. Look what I got. A kiss. Look, want it? Kiss. Kiss. That's my baby. She's so smart. I'm teaching her how to spin and stuff right now. But other than that, you know, we coming off a winning weekend. Raw play winner, win against the OGs, you know, trick back like that. We get into that when we break that game down.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we break it down. A lot to talk about, man. Did you guys watch Tyson and Paul?
The whole world watched it, man. He broke records with that. That was unbelievable. I think they said it was over 60 million views, something like that. They broke the
on it.
I wish.
Okay. Good. What about you? Did you see the fight? Did you bet the fight?
Watched it, did not bet it. The smart thing about being on Netflix is nobody was mad. Because if you would have paid $50 for that, you would have been pissed. The girls' fight was great.
Yes.
But you know, no one was paying to see the girls' fight. But since it was for free, I think everyone just kind of, whatever. People would have paid $50 for that. They would have been pissed, or the normal pay-per-view price. But since it's just the normal subscription, you just tune in. It was what it was, and people moved on. But it was crazy. It was an actual event. I mean, my whole time I was talking about it on Twitter. You know, so
the first
for whatever reason,
like Tyson kind of forgot like what he was supposed to do, and then they kind of reminded him because he kind of drug really hard after that. It was crazy. Like right before the match started, I'm with my OG Webb. We over there at Durango Casino making a couple plays. And he's like, man, you think we should bet it? I'm like, hell no, I ain't betting it. I said, but let me call somebody who knows if Tyson's going to fight tonight. Call somebody who was real close to Tyson that's in his camp. And he tells me like, man, he going to fight, man. He's telling everybody he's going to fight. As soon as he said that, I was like, I ain't betting this, man. I'm like, he probably got to tell his people to, you know, just to keep it solid. You know what I mean? Because when he showed his booty cheeks, after he pretty much, that was symbolism, letting you know what was really going on if you're wise enough to see that, man. But most of all, I just see these type of matches and it just reminds me how goofy betting has got. And it's really a good thing for guys like us because we come up under the old law. And most people don't understand that sports betting was initially something that was pretty much blackballed from society. And now it's welcomed, you know, by society. But when we first started doing this, it was two groups that bet sports. It was Gangstas and it was gentlemen, right? And if you told anyone that you were betting sports, the main thing they'll say to you was like, what? You betting sports? They thought you was like an addict or something. Like something was wrong with you. Like, oh, man, you tripping. But now it's gotten cool. But the reason why it was started by Gangstas and gentlemen is because those two groups of people kind of are more similar than people really think that they are. Because most people think that a gangster is a name for somebody who's doing some foolish stuff. But a lot of times gangsters are just guys who do business on stuff that's considered outside the law. You know, they're some of the most disciplined people that you're going to ever meet. And they live by a certain set of rules because those rules keep them alive in that world. Gentlemen, kind of the same. They live by a really strict set of rules. They're very disciplined in their approach to life. They do, you know, a lot of repetition, the same thing over and over each day to try to perfect it. But at the end of the day, it's all about their reputation that they hold dear, both sides, gangsters and gentlemen. And that's why sports betting was all about trust. Being able to, I can go in and make call in a bet with someone, and I know they're gonna pay me because they're a gangster or a gentleman. Now you got all these goofy kids that's betting sports, and they turn a match like Tyson and Paul, and it makes it where Jake Paul continues to be able to pull these type of stunts where he can make millions and millions of dollars off idiots, pretty much. I feel like it's more, about the entertainment aspect than the actual betting sports, and by having a fight. It's just a circus. And it's P.T. Barnum type stuff. And we never going to do that on the wagering world, man. We're going to stay true to the art. We're going to stay true to the old law, which is giving you information where you can be successful at it. This isn't a game. This is real money that you're risking. This is real money that can put you in situations when you're betting, if you're not in control, where you can lose a lot of stuff. That's why it's important to live by the old law, which is being very disciplined in your approach to betting sports and taking it serious, man. It's not fun. You can have fun watching the game, but at the end of the day, if you're really trying to make money, you have to approach this in a very serious, disciplined manner, man. And it just reminds me of that, watching that goofy ass fight where they just pretty much, like I told you guys, put on a mask and one guy held the window open while the other one ran up in the casino. What you were about to say, Messino? What were you saying?
60 million people was watching this, man. It was crazy. I think they said, I can't remember the amount of countries, but the whole world was watching the fight, man. Twitter felt like old Twitter. When I was on there, I'm like, this shit is nuts. Everybody's talking about this. They posting pictures, memes, and stuff like that. But the problem everybody had was the buffering. It was buffering. Netflix, the service couldn't handle the traffic. And they plan on hosting 2 NFL games on Christmas. All right. I don't think that the NFL games are going to, bring that much traffic, but you think
what? They're not going to bring that much traffic?
60 million people?
Man, it depends who playing.
The Kansas City, I think it's the Steelers. The Steelers and the, damn, I know the Ravens play that day. I can't remember. What's the Christmas
Chiefs game? I think is the one on there.
I thought it was 2 games on there, so it's only one?
It might only be one. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, look at
what do you think about that spread? You think Netflix can handle the NFL?
I think that they are going to learn from this. They're going to have to up their server capacity. So
yeah,
and because this happened, I think they know. Like they need to put a bunch of money in this.
They're going to play that because all they've been doing for years. Netflix is a great story. They're a disruptor. They kind of changed the whole market for videos because they were basically like Blockbuster, but they just took it and elevated and changed it to another level way, but not Blockbuster out the door and end up getting their own station themselves. And I'm sure they'll catch up. Netflix is ran by some really smart people.
Cino's right. Both games are on Netflix. The first game is the Chiefs taking on the Steelers. That should be a lot of fun.
I thought, I'd be trying.
That might get 60 million, Cino.
And then the second one is the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans.
That might get 60 million. You got the 2 most popular selling jerseys playing in the second game with Lamar and C.J. Stroud. And then in the first game, you got Kansas City against Pittsburgh. Come on, those are 2 of the most marketable brands in the history of the NFL. So, yeah, they probably exceed maybe what they did.
So they better step it up.
Because I feel like boxing is niche, but it kind of went out the realms of normal niche because of, everybody wanted to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just played the shit out of everyone. And, kudos to him if he can sleep well at night, conning people. I don't like to live my life like that personally. I want to give people a good product and make my money off of people paying me for me saying what I have and giving them what they want. So it continues to go on. But as I always say, this is a world that's controlled by technology. As you see, we're at the hands of Netflix. If they would have just cut this fight off, we wouldn't have been able to see it. Because end of the day, all this stuff is ran by numbers. Whether it's the internet, it's numbers running. Universe, numbers running. When you bet in sports, numbers. So you have to be lined up right with the universe to have success in betting sports. And I always talk to you guys about being stand-up dudes and, cats who are putting out good energy into the world, and you'll get that back on this sports betting. Let's get to the pass spread.
All right. First game on our docket is UCLA. They were catching 4.5 in Washington on Friday night. Came up a little bit short. Washington got the cover. What'd you see in that one?
My guy Jed Fish just outcoached Deshaun Foster. He was able to see what was going on and pivot to new information. It was a battle of turnovers at the beginning of the game. I know Cino was watching as well. It was garbage throwing interception and did like Cino said he was going to do. And then on the other side, Will Rogers throwing interceptions like I said he was going to do. So finally, Jed Fish had enough sense to say, oh, no, I'm putting in DeMond Williams. He puts in the dual threat quarterback who's mobile and completely a different type player than Will Rogers is. That changes the whole game. After that, Washington takes complete control because UCLA has been practicing all week for a drop back passer. Just a great job by Jed Fish. He just outcoached Deshaun Foster, and hopefully it's something that Foster will learn from moving forward. Just because this kid's a senior, if he's not playing well and he's costing you the game, man, you got to move on. You got to do the same thing that Jed Fish did. They paid a lot of money for Will Rogers to transfer over there. He had no problem bitching them 2 straight weeks, and I would not be surprised if DeMond Williams is the quarterback moving forward. Bad beat, bad break, bad handicap. I just say this just was a bad break right here with the fact that our coach did not match the chess move by Jed Fish, man, and take out garbage because the defense did its job. The running backs did their job, man. We happy with it, though, at the end of the day.
Hey,
What'd you think, Cino?
I can't stop laughing because we had a bad beat in this game. I didn't even play a side, y'all. I played the under 47. And they would score that garbage ass touchdown at the end.
No reason to score that.
I was ready to pull the TV off the wall. I say, man,
look
look at this. And then like I had a lot of new clients and stuff. Shout out to all y'all. Y'all already know. Like how he said, bad beat, bad break, bad handicap. That was definitely a bad beat. We shook back from it though. Sunday, great day. Monday was all right. Tuesday, we living. Let's get it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, next one. Let's talk about. So I had the UCLA Washington on. I didn't see this one at all. Houston took on the Arizona Wildcats. What'd you see there?
We were able to cash Arizona. I remember I told you guys on Friday on the show that the market is switched, and Houston wasn't a good enough team to have that much money on them and that many tickets on them. And as I also told you that Arizona could play if they decide to play, and they decided to play that day. I guess Brett Brennan finally got his message across to the locker room. Tatario McMillan just getting ready to go to the NFL, man. I don't know if Noah Fafita comes back or if he transfers. If I was him, I'd transfer to a bigger program because he's a better player than what he's displayed this year. But Arizona with a solid, decisive victory, and it was a good cash for us with the Supreme clientele.
Cino, what did you think of that game?
All I seen was the box score, and it didn't look good.
All right. We'll keep it moving. Then we got a lot to talk about. The next one. So now we're moving to Saturday. Texas took on Arkansas. They blew the doors off them, if I remember right?
No, we didn't cover. Nope, they won by 10.
I won the first half.
Yeah, they won by 10. Cino gave out minus 13.
They won by 10?
Yeah, they
won by 10. You just had the first half with me.
I
gave out the
because I flipped it. I didn't see the end. I thought it was a blowout.
First half was exactly
it was looking good.
Yep. Go ahead, Cino.
Yeah, it was looking good. Texas come out doing what they're supposed to do. I'm tired of yours, man. I don't know. I don't even want to break it down because again, 5-star, you was on the right side, and I'm tired of doing this. I had that with a parlay last night, man. 5-star had the right side, and instead of just hitting him up, hey, what you think, big brother? It's always that one that cost me, but you live and you learn. I know I'll be calling that phone next time, big brother. I don't want to hear nothing.
Man, my line always over to you, brother. You know that. You know I might miss the first call, but I'll hit you right back the next 5 minutes or 10.
Most definitely.
You know that. And anything you or spread need, man, you know, you guys are more than welcome always to hit my line. But on this game for us, man, I can't trust Texas for the full game on this game just because we saw what was going on, man. Let's just be real. The market was saying all day Arkansas. I didn't know how the hell it was going to get accomplished, but it was going to happen. So that's why I cut the game in half because I know Steve Sarkisian usually comes out humming, really good at coming up with game plans early. And as you saw, Golden was looking really good for Texas early. And Ewers looked better until that Arkansas defense after the halftime kind of locked in. But I'm glad we were able to get that -7 first half. I gave it out on the show, and the Supreme clientele was able to cash it. Man, a lot of these games, you notice I cut them in half, and it's a reason why. If you watch the show enough, you know why I like to be a fan at the end of the game, man. Get in and get out real quick. A lot of times your biggest advantage, especially with underdogs, is the first half. This case, it was a favorite, but most of the times I do bet the underdogs. We do it for who? Cino?
Underground and underdogs, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this one was a blowout, though. Colorado took on Utah, and so I had that one on a little bit close to the beginning, right? Utah talk about taking an underdog in the first half. I don't know if they covered whatever the number was, but it was a close game. And then in the second half, Colorado just ran away with it and, continued their rise up the rankings. I think they're number 16 now. So, but I know for me and the rest of the casual college football fans, because you guys hear me talk about it, I'm not watching these games. I'm not breaking them down like you are. I'm just taking your guys' picks. For us casuals, we want to see Sanders in the college football playoffs. So I hope that happens. What'd you see there?
They got a tough one this weekend. They got to be careful. They play at Kansas this week, and I think it's going to be probably at Arrowhead Stadium. So, and it's a 2 for the line. And man, Kansas is playing really well. They upset BYU, and the week before that, they upset Iowa State, who was undefeated at the time. So I hope that Coach Prime has those guys ready to play, and I know he will be. But man, Kansas is a really tough team. They don't want to lose any more games because if they lose, they won't be bowl eligible. Talent, though, is on the above side. I always speak about their spurt ability. That's the difference for me with them and every other team. I thought Miami was like this, but Miami's defense isn't good enough. Colorado is. And what they do is they'll turn you over or get a big sack and get momentum going and then hit you with a quick play. Right after the next thing, you wake up in the days like, damn, they just went 21-0 unanswered. Not a lot of college football teams had that spurt ability like this team. And, man, now we see that Colin Cowherd's leading the show, talking about Shador Sanders to the Cowboys and talking about Jerry Jones is plotting to get Shador and Coach Prime, and he had Michael Irvin on there yesterday. And you guys know who watch the show, a lot of the viewers who are here all the time with us and been rocking with us all season and beyond, we were the first to drop that story about the Cowboys were trying to get rid of Dak and try to get in position to offer Coach Prime the coaching position and draft his son. Let me tell you first here as well on the wagering world, from a source that I know is a solid source, that's not happening. Shador will not be a Cowboy. He's going to be a Raider. He's going to be in the building. He's going to be in the building every day with Tom Brady because he wants to work with Tom Brady every day. His dad is wise enough to let him from under his shadow. He doesn't want to be his whole career. I was his coach. He's going to let Shador be his own man. Shador wants to live on the West Coast. He loves Vegas. He's here all the time. He's very close to Colorado right here, a 40-minute flight. The base for the Sanders family is about to be in Boulder. Coach Prime isn't going anywhere for a while because he feels indebted to that program because they were the first one that actually gave him a chance, and they gave him opening arms and the keys to that whole university, to that whole city. So he's not going to burn them, go do all that stuff over there and leave them. He's setting up to build a nice little empire there. He's going to make it with Colorado. It's back a top school to attend. And you're going to remember now for guys like me and Spread who grew up watching Colorado as a powerhouse in the Big 8, that they have the resources, they have the weather, they have the girls on campus. That is going to make it where people want to go there. So Coach Prime is no fool. He loves the sanctuary of living in that area. He loves the peace of being there. He loves that his kids are safe out there. They do not want to go to Dallas and get back in the, run around in the city. So I'm telling you right now, Shador Sanders to the Raiders is happening. Antonio Pierce will be his coach. If they fire him, it won't be for Coach Sanders. He's not going to be a shadow over his son's career all the way through the pros. He trusts him. He believes he's a mature kid, and he believes he deserves a chance to be his own man. So you heard it here first on the wagering world, and after draft, we'll post this clip that Shador Sanders is not going to the Cowboys, and Coach Prime will not be the coach there. These guys have took something that I heard slightly going on in Dallas from a close friend who works with the Cowboys organization. I also could tell by the way that they were dealing with the Dak injury. And I kind of put my own little spin on it and made it into my own take. And now it's gone nationally, and all of a sudden it's become the hottest take in the world just from being on the timeline. And we know that's what happened. Like, we watched it. And that's just how anything starts. The best traditions in America, or the coolest words, the top slang, it just started in the neighborhood by one or two guys saying it to each other. Then another guy says it to someone else. Then someone travels on vacation and go says it there. And then that person on vacation travels to where they're from and says it there. That's how it starts, man. And that's the same thing that happened with this Cowboy stuff with Coach Sanders, Coach Prime. I feel like we were the initiators, that we started the fire, but I'm about to put it out now because it's not real. It's just talking.
All right. Anything else on Colorado, Cino, before we move on?
I stayed up all night handicapping that game. I overslept, and I couldn't give it out. I made a play, everything. I wrote up everything.
Well, I told you we were on the air. You came with the great information, the intel I needed, because I thought Rose was going to play. You told me, now Isaac Wilson's playing. What did I say? Oh, everybody slam him. Take Colorado. Isaac Wilson can't play. Look, man.
I wrote all that up. The quarterback issues this team was gonna have. Look, Colorado fired up
and had too good a night before.
Man, I say, oh my God! But we still had a great day. I can't complain about it. And look, to piggyback off what Five was saying, if you go watch clips just of how Prime talk and stuff like that, Colorado, he stamped. He got him a home there. He got a house there. I know how successful men feel about their homes. His son was telling him to put a pickleball court in the house. Like, put a pickleball court in the house. If you put a pickleball court at your house, you live in there. Like, you live there. You stationed. Like, he not going nowhere. And again, hey, I tell this to a lot of people too. 5-star, like he just said, he just be initiating stuff. He just be saying stuff, just to see who listens or what's going on. He might say the sky blue. Other people might say something different. Or he might be like, oh, it's green. And now everybody's saying it's green. Yeah, we doing it for the underground, the underdogs. But the big dogs trying to come watch us because they know we doing big dog things.
Yes, sir.
Next game on the docket, Clemson at Pitt. I didn't watch this one at all. Tell me what happened.
Did you keep your bid right? You cashed right from the day when you put it in.
Yeah, but I didn't watch the game.
It wasn't much to watch. It went pretty much just like we thought it was going to go, with it being really low scoring. We said that if Holstein played, it was a go. If Yardell played, we was going to have a difficult time getting in it, and you might want to bow. Ended up, we rolled it out in the group because it was 13 points by the time it kicked off. That's just a lot of points, man. So we ended up riding out, and kind of like what we spoke about on Friday, Narduzzi, he knows how to play with that Pitt team at home, even when they don't have the type of quarterback that he needs under center, because he's never had really the quarterback that he needs. Probably the best quarterback he had was Kenny Pickett since he's been there, and he's been there a long time. And if Kenny Pickett's your top quarterback, you ain't had much. So they did a really good job, though, defensively and on special teams like they always do. The kicker is amazing. He was bombing 61-yard kicks. These college kids are amazing now kicking, man. Like, and, the science of sports is just upgraded athletes so much, man. It's amazing. We're really blessed to see both sides of it. When guys had a little bit more heart playing, but now we're seeing like these guys who are damn near cyborgs. They're great at what they do because of the nutrition and the sports science, but these kickers are amazing. That kicker kept us in it in that Pittsburgh game. We get the cover.
All right, Tino, did you watch that one?
Nope, I just listened to 5-star and put the bet in. I just like looking at the account and being like, where does this money come from?
Yes, sir.
That's how my Saturdays have been going lately. Tino, start with you on this one. LSU, that's your squad. Did you have eyes on that one?
No, I did not. I didn't watch that game.
All right.
So I knew it was going to happen, bro. I'm tired of LSU. I'm tired of being upset, and I be getting in my feelings. Like, I don't like that. But I did watch another game in Louisiana, and we're going to talk about that one once we get to it.
Sounds good. LSU at Florida. What'd you see in that one, 5-star?
Another situation where we cashed with the group on +4 and money line, because I told you guys if DJ Lagaway plays, LSU was going to lose, and they lost. Florida right now is just in a better space, and they're not even a good team. Brian Kelly needs to be out of Baton Rouge. I don't know if these guys are going to cut the cord quick or they're going to extend this and let it keep dragging, because Brian Kelly just isn't the guy for their job. You saw he was talking to the kid on the sideline, like, get this guy the hell out of here. I don't want this dude coaching my kids. And they keep losing. It's only so long that checkbook is going to be the thing that's going to be able to bring kids there, because that's all they're coming for now. Nobody don't want to play for Brian Kelly, bro. No kid at home talking about, man, I can't wait to play for Brian Kelly.
You right.
Nowhere. But his kids talk about that they can't wait to play for Lane Kiffin. These guys saying that they can't wait to play for Kirby Smart. Believe that.
Coach
Can't
Prime.
wait to play for Steve Sarkisian, for Coach Prime. So man, LSU got to step it up. They missed the opportunity to get Prime. They could have got Coach Prime. And they missed the opportunity to get it, because it would have been a monster down there with the access to DBs that he'd have with DBU. Come on, man. But
Oh my God.
It's only a dream that'll never be realized now, because now he's found heaven in beautiful Colorado. And I'm telling you, from living in this area of the world and being very familiar with Colorado, when you own in Colorado, you're not leaving. I'm telling you. So he's going to be right there, just like John Elway still is, a guy from California who never left Denver, owns all his businesses in Denver. So, yeah, but back to, this game right here. I just think at the end of the day that Brian Kelly's not that guy, man. And LSU is about to have a really down year, and I hope it's just bottoms all the way out so they can get rid of him and we can get a fresh start.
All right, final college game on the docket. Tennessee took on Georgia. One of our few ones we didn't get the cover on. I believe Georgia ended up winning that game by 13. What'd you see in that one, 5-star?
We both won that game. We won both ways. If you watched on Friday, your account will tell you. Tennessee first half +5. Remember, that was the play I gave out, because I told you guys that I didn't really like Carson Beck, and I was liking what I was seeing from Tennessee Volunteers defense. The first time they given up 20 points in this ridiculous string of games was this game. They had held all opponents, I believe, under 17 points in the last maybe like 10 games. They've been playing outstanding, man. So the Tennessee defense came to play the first half, but just like I told you would happen, they kind of wore down in the second half, and that's when Georgia opened up the game. For some reason, Carson Beck doesn't play until the second half when he's down. But we were able to do exactly as we expected and get that cash in the first half. Josh Heupel always comes out with a good plan. Tennessee will be back around. Emma Villa needs to get healthy. They'll be all right. I actually, coming from this game, even though Georgia won, I still think Tennessee actually is a better team than them. I trust Tennessee more, actually, in the playoffs.
Cino, what'd you see in that one?
Just what I told y'all was going to happen. Trap. We was all over Georgia on this game. Free money. Took the spread. I wanted to give it out of. Oh, I lied. I did give it out of 2-unit bet. You see, I've been winning so much lately on X. I gave that out on X also. So we won there. And Carson Beck, he showed up. He have to. They got to make the playoffs, bro. They have to. And I'm looking at it just like I told y'all. 10 points, and everybody was just hammering Tennessee. The line closed at 7.5. I'm like, these people crazy. What the hell going on? And 5-star, he knew. I always know. First half, Tennessee and Georgia. He been telling us this second half team. That's why I never panic. They make Kirby Smart make all the adjustments he need, like he always said. Carson Beck, what he threw for like 340-some yards, no interceptions, playing like that. Of course they gonna win.
Yeah.
5-star in the CFL. Only regret is I didn't play the money line on that Toronto game, but they were +9.5 dogs. They get the win. They're the CFL champions, winning the Grey Cup. Did you watch that one, or did you just cash it?
You know who played the money line.
5-star.
Man, that was a good one, because they set people up almost every year like this in the CFL championship. The big dog always wins. If you just follow the CFL, and Winnipeg is the one that loses every year. They're the new Buffalo Bills. They have won maybe 3 years ago, but this is now their third straight finals losing as big favorites in the championship. Great job by Coach Ryan Dinwiddie, man. Just a really good job. His second championship as a Toronto Argonauts head coach. The Argos are the best franchise traditionally in that league. They've won now their 18th championship. Nick Arbuckle plays completely over his head, but it's because Ryan Dinwiddie had him ready to play. As I also suggested, Zach Collaros with the turnovers, man, and the Toronto Argos defense will be able to get turnovers off him. He throws for 4 interceptions. They hurt his hand early in the first quarter, and he was not the same guy. He tried to put a glove on, tried to do a lot of different things, but he's the Aaron Rodgers of that league. He puts up numbers in the regular season, but you can't trust him when it really counts. So great job right there. I'm glad everyone from ESPN 97.5, from the Wagering World, were able to cash that ticket, and old 5-star was so happy to get that +340.
Cino, did you watch any of the Grey Cup?
Oh no, hell nah. To be honest, I ain't watched one CFL game all this year. Five, five star, nah, for real. 5 star is the king of that. Like, I don't know how big. It's just football. He just know the game of football. And anytime he give out one of the plays, I'm always on it. That's I just close my eyes and check the account. I already know it's about to happen. I wish I'd have money line that. I'm the guy with the points, though. I'm taking the points every time. I don't care if it's 1.5.
Right.
I sprinkle a little bit on the money line. 5 star got some big nuts. Them things hanging. But for real, good call though, big brother.
Yeah, but I bet too. So, even though I bet the money line, I made sure I would have made a profit on the spread.
Oh,
That's
I know how you go. I know you're gonna slam the spread more than you do the money line. You make it work. I'm not. You're a professional, bro.
Yes, sir.
Cino, I'm gonna start with you on this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers got it done again against the Baltimore Ravens. Tomlin just seems to have their number. What did you think in that one? As the Steelers moved to 8-2, the Ravens fall to 7-4. That puts the Steelers in a great position to win the AFC North, but we know how tough that division is. What did you see in that game?
Lamar Jackson, they can't figure out how to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They can't. Mike Tomlin, he the kryptonite. That's exactly what I seen. What he was stifled by the defense. He couldn't do nothing, bro. Pittsburgh beat those people with field goals straight. They didn't score one touchdown, kicked all field goals. And just for them to have the confidence and stuff like that, and shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had a money line, of course. Lot of slow starts. Baltimore, they play from behind the whole game. They couldn't get it done. Is Baltimore that contender we think they are? Is just Pittsburgh that good?
My answer would be it's just a bad matchup for them. But obviously Baltimore is still a contender. We'll just see. I don't think that's a matchup they want there, though, in the playoffs. 5-star, what'd you see in that one?
We got that one out right here on the wagering world. Money line Mike Tomlin. You know who will never kick the damn extra point? Mike Tomlin.
Oh my God.
He'll never make it. You know why? Because he has sense. He understands that 3 points is just as effective as scoring a touchdown sometimes, because at least you got a positive outcome. You added points for a really solid defense. And also 3 is always more than nothing, right? So I like that Mike Tomlin is, one of those guys that you can trust when you're betting, man, whether the public's on him or not, it don't even matter, because he's approaching all the games in the same manner. Very detailed guy. And how good is that kick over there? Like, he's the only guy who can make over 50-yard field goals inside that stadium. And he's been doing it such a long time. It's damn near like you see Tomlin, you see him. And I kind of think that has a lot to do with Shanahan's fall off now that he lost his guy that was over there with him kicking for so long that ended up retiring. What was that guy's name? Spread?
Robbie Gould.
Robbie Gould. Yeah, Robbie Gould. He won a lot of games for Shanahan, man. So the Steelers are set up for a run to the Super Bowl, just like Cino and I spoke about last show. Mike Tomlin is not going to waste this opportunity. It's rare that you have chances like he has this year. It's a pretty nice ticket someone has out there right now with AFC North to the Pittsburgh Steelers, since they were plus 520 before the season started. Russell Wilson continues, and I like how now they're going to start implementing Fields. I think they should have been doing that. Short yards, put Fields in, man, because he can't throw. So he leaves you a lot of options, make him feel a part of the team. Just be, one group of guys, and that's the great thing about a Mike Tomlin-led team. It's not necessarily the quarterback. They beat you a lot of ways.
5-star, last weekend I asked you about Caleb Williams, because with DJ Moore and the way his offensive line was treating him, there were concerns that he maybe had lost the team, and not questions about his talent, but his leadership abilities. I felt he kind of answered those questions, or the team answered those questions. It felt like they played for him. And he put his Chicago Bears in the position to get the win there. Unfortunately for him, the kick was blocked, so the Packers escaped with the win. But in a game that most people had written off the Bears and expected the Packers to come in and roll, the Bears probably should have won that game. Also, Eberflus is probably on his way out the door, because he probably should have tried to run it a little more. Now, obviously, hindsight's 20/20. If they make the kick, we don't say one word about it. But unfortunately, they didn't. They missed the 46-yarder. It was blocked, and we know the farther back you are, the lower the trajectory of the ball has to go. So the farther back you are, the more chance you have of getting it blocked, which is why back in the day, extra points never, ever, ever got blocked. which kind of sucked for Caleb. Now he'll be on his third offensive coordinator in his second season. But talk to me about what you see. I mean, Green Bay's got to be happy to escape with the win, especially in that division. They're going to need it because they're still trailing behind the Vikings and the Detroit Lions. But what did you think in that NFC North matchup?
Jordan Love was a company man. That's it. That's all this was about. First half, they had the Bears on the ropes. Complete control of the game. They're up on them 7-3, about to go in the end zone. Matt LaFleur calls the perfect play. Jordan Love has a guy right in front of him that's going to catch the ball and turn around and walk into the end zone. Literally right in front of his face. He throws it maybe 2 feet over his head, straight to the safety for the Bears in the end zone, and that changed everything. That's what messed the cover up for the first half. That's what messed the cover up for the game. We had them first half and took an L on that one with the group, but I just think that the Packers there was too much money on them. So, they did what they need to do to get the victory, but they weren't going to cover that game. As far as the Bears, I'm feeling real happy about another L for them. They got me a little nervous at the beginning of the year. They looked a little bit better against trash. And remember, I put a lot of money on them to go under 9.5 with heavy juice. I think it's -140 I paid on that ticket for them to go under 9.5 wins on my futures. That was the biggest future bet I made in the NFL this year. So it's looking good for that. Moving forward, Jordan Love needs to get some more practice time. He just looks a little rusty. And I do think that Matt LaFleur sees that because he only threw the ball 17 times this game. So he has to get back into the form he was at last year. Right now, in the form he's in, they're not a real threat.
Cino, what'd you think of the Packers and the Bears?
Man, the Packers cost me a fortune. That's all I can say. Matter of fact, I got the ticket right here. Everything, the goddamn Packers, man, they cost me a fortune. That's all I'm gonna say. One leg. Jordan Love got to step up. He was working, like 5 Star said. It's plays that he usually make, even when he was running the ball. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, you got to be more aggressive. And Caleb Williams, his team definitely supported him. They backed him up. The offensive line, they played exactly how they were supposed to play. And to be honest, I wish they would have won that game because the Packers didn't deserve it.
I was kind of rooting for him towards the end, too. And the league's going to be better if Caleb ends up developing. I hope he.
Not for me. I'm enjoying it. I hope he crashes out.
Oh my God!
Well, I want to see more good quarterback play. I don't want to see any more.
Another one to replace him. What quarterback of Chicago ever had? It's not him. He'll end up going somewhere else and probably being decent. In Chicago, it's hard to be the quarterback in Chicago, Illinois, for some reason. That Bears franchise. If you just look at teams, every team has something that they specialize in, and it's traditional, like over the years. For instance, you look at the Cowboys, they always had good skills guys, always a good quarterback, always have good receivers. Look how many guys won them 88 that's been good for the Cowboys because they really know how to draft that position. The Steelers, same type of situation. Really good at drafting outside linebackers, really good at drafting receivers, never miss at those positions. Green Bay, never miss a quarterback. Over the years, they've always had really good quarterbacks. Chiefs, same thing. Really don't miss a quarterback over the years. The Bears are known for middle linebackers. That's what they draft well.
Brian,
that's what they develop well. So I don't know how they're going to take that curse off of them, but for some reason, they're just not a team that you want to be the quarterback for that team. That's why I was surprised when my buddy, who's friends with his dad, told him that he was going to Chicago because I thought he was going to push to go back home to Washington, which I think would have worked out better for him being with Cliff Kingsbury.
All right, let's talk about the easiest win, for me at least, on Sunday. The Denver Broncos just housed the Atlanta Falcons.
That one was fun.
And the Falcons, there's 2 things. Number one, the betting public, because most of betting public now, because you talked about how popular it is, and most of them, were in different states, but most of them bet on DraftKings, so they play fantasy football. They see Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, and Kirk Cousins has forever just been living off fantasy because he puts up these huge stats against terrible teams. So if you have him in fantasy, it's great. He got 40 points for you. He helps you win your week. Put him in your DraftKings lineup. He pays off his salary 1.5 times. But this team can't get any pressure. And Bo Nix was the latest one to take advantage of that with his best game as a pro so far. And while, I've kind of had fun because I do like Bo Nix, and I don't think he's going to be a top 5 guy, but I think he's going to be a starter in this league, kind of maybe a Kirk Cousins style career. And that was fun. The Falcons just can't get pressure. They can't get pressure, and they're a little bit overrated on offense. And Denver took advantage of both those facts. Probably don't want to belabor the point too much, but that was just an easy win for us, 5-star. What'd you see?
That was one of the best games of the year. I gave that out to the clients and told them to bet everything in the account on it. Max bet it, and I gave it out on X for free, and we gave it out here on the show. Just a really good play, man. It was just a really good play, man. Everything pointing toward Denver. And the thing I like about what I'm seeing out of Bo Nix is that he had a lot of athletic confidence when he was at Auburn. He lost it for a while with bad coaching, got back to Oregon and kind of regained it. Then I worried, was he going to be able to be that same type of confident guy athletically in the NFL? And this translated beautifully, man. He looks strong. He looks confident. He looks decisive. And he can run as well. So I think Bo Nix is going to have a really good career, man, especially under Sean Payton. He's tied to the right guy.
And that was what I was going to say, too. And that's where you're drafted matters so much, because he's got a guy who's developing him properly. If you look at how limited Peyton's game plans were in week 1 compared to what Peyton has Nix doing now, it seems to be a proper progression, kind of adding a couple more downfield plays per week, but he's not letting him get beat up behind the line, and he's not ruining his confidence by forcing him to throw down the field and getting these games with 4 interceptions. Sino, any thoughts on the Falcons and the Broncos?
5-star broke it down real well, but what I don't understand about the Falcons organization is when you getting your ass whipped like that, why you don't put in your backup quarterback? Why you don't put in Michael Penix Jr.?
They did.
You're right, but he didn't play long enough. I don't feel like. Like in these situations, I feel he should definitely have more reps. Like if that's gonna be the quarterback of the future, if that's who you putting your all in, you're not gonna win the game. Like what he threw, the ball 4 times, he was 2 for 4. You putting the ball on the ground. I definitely feel they knew they wasn't gonna win that game. We knew they wasn't gonna win that game. So I just felt they could have did better as the organization. Just let him get some reps, man. Let Penix do his thing. Just don't sit him on the bench.
Man, and another thing real quick, Spread, while we talk about Atlanta. Man, watch the Saints. Like, the Saints have showed me something the last couple of weeks that's making me think that locker room, we already knew they had players. That's why we were so disappointed with what was going on over there. I faded them 2 straight weeks and got blasted. I saw from the first play of the game against Cleveland that I was on the wrong side. Because I could tell when the Saints come to play. They blowing shit up. Their line is blowing shit up. And they're back doing that. You were right, Spread, about that new coach and that he had the right type of moxie for that locker room. They're responding to him. That division is not over yet. There's everybody in there's kind of jumbled up. The Falcons have showed you can't trust the head coach. And that was one of our major angles on this whole game with Broncos and Atlanta was we knew he wasn't going to have the defense ready. It was guys wide open for the Broncos, man. So if they're not at home and not playing in a dome, they're not a really good team. So the Saints have an opportunity to kind of push for that division still. So I'm expecting them to play some really good ball. They found a receiver now in MVS. He seems like him and Derek Carr are clicking. And their defense seems like he cares again, man. And we know that they have a really good team. That's why Lattimore getting traded really didn't matter because they are so deep at defensive back. So watch the Saints, man. Watch the Saints.
All right. Another team we need to be watching is San Francisco 49ers, as they could be almost essentially eliminated this week.
That's what I was about to say. What you mean,
well, yeah. I mean, so we're going to talk about what happened against Seattle, but because of that, if the 49ers beat the Packers this week, they have a 60% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose, and they're, I think, 3.5-point dogs,
9-9.
15% chance to make the playoffs, 5-star. And my main takeaway from that game is, and when we talk about it on Friday, it's going to be my whole handicap. When Nick Bosa went out of that game, Geno Smith went from looking like an average quarterback to a top 5 guy. I mean, once he got some time, and we've seen it before with certain teams. We talk about Pittsburgh with TJ Watt. When TJ Watt's in there, we bet the Steelers. We talk about it with Cleveland and Dallas, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. There's certain guys in this league that just matter that much to a defense. And Nick Bosa is one of them. And if he's not going to play against Green Bay, this season could be over for the 49ers. What did you see in that game? Oh, my final thought, JSN is finally, this is what we wanted from him as we drafted. As to me, he kind of emerged as the number one there over the last couple of weeks down in Seattle. And I'm sure that Seahawks fans are happy about that. What'd you see, 5-star?
Yeah, that opens the entire offense up when he's working the middle like that. Then you can leave DK Metcalf strictly at X because that's all he wants to play. He doesn't want to cross the middle. Lockett's getting a little older now. So big game for JSN. I want to say this: 21 out of 28, 159 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. Who was that? Geno Smith or Brock Purdy?
Purdy, probably, because I know where he's really going with this.
That was Purdy.
Now 25 or 32, 221 is on the other side. Brock Purdy is not a top 10 quarterback. He's a system guy. The 49ers are really blessed to have this situation happen like it occurred this year. Before the year, you remember I told you I expect the biggest fall off from the 49ers, that they weren't going to win the division and that they might not make the playoffs. And people were probably under here talking about 5 stars going crazy. Too many years of pushing it all the way to the Super Bowl. A lot of playoff games. Too much mileage on their best player, Christian McCaffrey, and he's the key to that offense. Too much belief in Brock Purdy, because I watch football and I've told you guys over and over and over again that Brock Purdy is a benefit of great play calling by Shanahan. He's not a guy that can just sit back there and throw dots when you need to beat a professional defense. So now he probably take a team-friendly deal and they stay with him because he knows the system if Shanahan's still even there. But their season began on the wrong foot from the door with the fact that we knew that IU did not want to go there. And I think that put a great cloud over the whole season. Trent Williams didn't want to come in. I know Big Trent. He was chilling. He didn't want to play. They don't like somebody over there. And I don't know if it's Shanny, which I don't think, because Shanny seems like a pretty cool dude off the set. He's a Lil Wayne fan, you know. He smoked a little bit. So I think Shanny all right.
Well, let me jump in there real quick.
Okay.
From what
you get the news.
He could be kind of a dick, and he's kind of arrogant, and he can rub players the wrong way. You know how Harbaugh does that, where he comes in and everybody loves him, and then after a couple of years, they're kind of rolling their eyes. There might be some pushback because of the way he's not necessarily that player friendly.
He's definitely old school like his dad. Out showed he wasn't player friendly. He was out there looking like the owner of KFC.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we'll see. But I don't think they'll get rid of him. But all the issues you brought up are just so true. And I think of all of them, I think the Trent was fine because I think Trent carries so much respect in that locker room. I don't think anybody even fudged. I think the Ayuk deal, and then Shanahan and him still kind of getting after it. I don't know if you remember. There was a video about 3 weeks after his time.
Wanted to play there, Spread. We talked.
Yeah, and then he was doing stuff to Needle Shanahan, like he wore the wrong color shorts out one day.
Yeah,
you know he did that on purpose. Shanahan lights him up. It all makes the media. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there in San Francisco.
Is John Lynch and Shanahan the answer, Spread? You've been following the Niners a long time.
Yeah, I think he is, but I think you just
Spread. The first fumble, the biggest fumble that they made from day one was picking that draft class that they did to trade all of those picks for Trey Lance.
Yeah,
that's putting them behind the 8 ball, right? So you start there. That's a horrible move. Anyone with any type of sense, we talked about this over and over on this show, that just like a relationship, if a girl's gone, she gone. And she already talking about, I want to leave. She throwing up other dudes' names. You over there posting other teams and everything. You just got to get rid of him, man. You got to trade him. He wanted to play with his homeboy, Jaden Daniels, in Washington. He did not want to be there. He wanted to play for the Steelers. He didn't want to be there. And it showed. That's why he got hurt, because he probably was kind of being, lackadaisical all week and all year training, because he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So you got that going. McCaffrey, they ran like a dog, just like his little buddy McVay destroyed Cooper Kupp's career because you're overusing him. He overused McCaffrey, man. He did too much work on McCaffrey. All those good backs they had, he never said, okay, I'm gonna keep using you in the passing game. So let me make your rushes 15 times a game. He's getting this guy 25 carries a game and 10 targets passing every game. And how small is McCaffrey? You know, like, come on, man. It's just, I feel like they haven't done a good job. And more so, I'll put it on Lynch because Shanahan could coach. You know, like, I'm not going to take that away from him. He's a great play caller. But his message might have gotten stale. But I think Lynch has dropped the ball a couple times because he really got lucky with Brock Purdy being serviceable and ended up being a better version of Jimmy G. And it kind of just landed in their hand on accident. He was the last guy that they drafted. And that's kind of bridged everything. But, bro, they're about to fall completely off the edge this offseason.
I guess just what I would say is I would trust them to rebuild it better than anybody out on the market because let's just say you fire Kyle Shanahan. It's the NFL, so probably.
So what do you think they do this offseason? Because Brock Purdy's contract is up, right?
Yeah, I think you're right, though. That team-friendly deal is going to help them a lot. What if they made the Super Bowl again and then they gave him $60 million? Now you might get him for $30 million, which really is probably about what he's worth, and it's not a bad deal.
I don't know, man. I think
the problem would be is if you're overpaid.
Cowboys spread where they latched on to the wrong guy because of numbers. Dak led the league in touchdowns last year, but does he look like the best player in the league?
No, I agree with you there. So, the problem is when you play an average player elite money, you can never pay elite players too much. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm just saying I would trust them on a rebuild more than I would. What are you going to do? Bring in Lincoln Riley? I mean, there's not that many good coaches out there.
That's facts. That's true. Yeah. You can't. I can't think anybody that can replace Shanahan with that doesn't have a job and say, get rid of Shanahan. But Lynch, I don't know, spread. I don't know. Might be time to look at Lynch like they had to do with Balky. Maybe he's feeling himself a little bit too much.
Yeah, we'll see. There was already friction there because reportedly Lance was a Lynch pick. And it's not like Shanahan's was that much better. Shanahan wanted Mac Jones.
Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. But Mac Jones would have did well with the 49ers in that offense, man. Mac Jones not that sorry. He just lost his confidence. You know, like it's all about coaching. If he comes right in the league from Alabama and goes to the Niners and they're running good plays and that, you know, you seen all the I sent you the dirty tapes of Mac Jones. It ain't like he's scared. He was out there doing mafia hits on D lineman. He didn't like so that's the main thing. He's not afraid to play. I think that with Shanahan, he would have been a lot better for them than draft and trade Lance. They should have took Justin Fields because he would have been amazing in that offense, I believe. I think he could have hit enough of those easy throws, man. But let's get on to the next game.
All right, next one up, and we'll start with you, Sino. Chiefs and Bills. Buffalo Bills get the win once again. Against in the regular season, they got Kansas City's number. What happened in the playoffs, and what did you think of that game?
Josh Allen played like that so he could get back number one in the MVP. And if you go check the lines, that's just what he did. He was unbelievable. He looked like Josh Allen. Will he continue that in the playoffs, though, is the question. And the Chiefs, to be honest, I didn't think they was going to fall. But if you look at the NFL, the entertainment industry, the script, why not let Josh Allen knock off the Kansas City Chiefs? Why not? And the way Lamar played that week also, the Bills, they had to win, right? So Josh Allen looked like he was something special. Lamar looked like, am I supposed to be up here? Well, that's just what it is, man. That's part of the game. But again, shout out to the Bills. I didn't play that game. I was scared. I'm not fading Patrick Mahomes. I don't give a damn who on the other side of the ball. Simple as that.
Yeah, a good win for Buffalo, but it's going to be one of those things where they got to beat them in the playoffs before we really give them some credit, 5-star. But my takeaway is I think this team is built to beat Kansas City more than any of the past teams, and that's because of James Cook. The fact they can run the ball really helps. And then, Josh Allen, the third and shorts are just too much. And when on that 4th and 2, that pickup, he takes it all the way to the end zone. But that's really the difference maker that Allen's bringing to the game right now. You combine that with Cook, linebackers have to stay home. Maybe this is the year the Bills can knock them off, but we'll see. Most likely they're going to have to do it in Arrowhead. What do you think, 5-star?
Well, you know, I told you guys on the show that I thought the Bills would win this game. Everything in my numbers were saying them, but just like Lil Bro said, that's one of our
Yeah.
rules. We don't bet against Mahomes, so we just watched it, and I knew that
Yeah.
it was going to go pretty much like it did. Buffalo's hell at home. Always been a great environment, probably one of the best fan bases in the whole league for sure. One of the best. I was about to say maybe number one, but they're right up there. I don't want to offend any fans of teams just watching the show because it's a lot of really great fan bases. But the Bills, maybe their defense is shaping in the form, but I feel like we've seen this before. Like it's the same movie, you know. Like the Bills always beat them in regular season. This matchup does not matter until after the calendar turns. That's when it's matter. You know, then we'll see can he beat Mahomes when everything's on the line and it's do or die. Go home if you lose. I still just think that Buffalo's defense isn't that good this year. I think they play well at home, but I don't trust them on the road at KC or actually on the road at Baltimore if they have to stop them in the playoffs. But most likely how it's set up right now, it looks like Baltimore will go there. And that on that note, I think Buffalo would probably win that game. But they'll be right there like always because they have a really good coach and they have a really good quarterback. But Sean McDermott, I always tell you guys about how he came from that Carolina, team with Cam Newton. And I kind of see the same thing with the Bills. Like their whole world is built around Josh Allen. And it can only take you so far. Will he reach a Super Bowl like his comp Cam Newton did? Maybe once, I hope so. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised either just because turnovers, man. Josh Allen still plays like a wild horse. That's what makes him who he is. That's why that last play, you saw what he did. But in the playoffs, that might be a fumble. You know what I mean? So just he has a lot of room for errors that can occur. Whereas when I look at Mahomes, even though he's turned over the ball and has all his interceptions, I think he's trying a lot of stuff. And he's working with a lot of receivers that he's not familiar with. I think when it really counts, though, he protects the ball much better than Josh Allen does. So with that said, great performance by the Bills, but show it to me in 2025 when it's time to play for something.
And we'll be looking forward to that. It feels like we kind of know who's going to be in the playoffs now. And while these games are fun, we can kind of look ahead to the matchups we want to see. But one team that I don't think we're going to be seeing in the playoffs 5-star is my guy, Joe Burrow. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. And I was a little disappointed his day fell short against the Cincinnati Bengals. Once again, he puts up good numbers, but it's simply not enough. And to me, the difference in those two organizations is coaching. I think that if you would have flipped the coaches, Cincinnati would have won that game by 14. And I really feel bad for Burrow being stuck in that terrible organization, arguably one of the worst organizations in football. And I think it's a credit to him that they're even as good as they are in the Bengals franchise. But I don't want to bag on them too much. We do need to give the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh credit because they're that sneaky team that no one's going to want to play in the playoffs, right? Everyone's going to say the Chiefs are the class of the AFC West, but the Chargers are right there too. What'd you think, 5-star?
Well, first of all, Joe Burrow threw the ball 50 times. Herbert was 17 out of 36. What I saw at this game was everything I talk about these two quarterbacks. They're media darlings. Don't get me wrong, they make these splash plays, both of them. But I think Burrow's a little bit more consistent than Herbert. Herbert looked really good in the first half, not so much in the second half. Burrow didn't look good in the first half, looked great in the second half. End of the game, no one could finish it. That's why everyone else was all thrilled watching. We had the Chargers. We had the first half easy cash, and then we had them for the game money line, super sweat. Thank God for the running game that Jim Harbaugh has because Herbert made one great pass. He made two passes, I want to say, to Lad McConkey that won the game. Before that, they went 3 and out like 2 straight possessions, and Burrow did the same thing. And I'm like, this crunch time, this game tied. Can't neither one of you dudes get the ball down the field and score against these whack-ass defenses? Now, the Chargers have a better defense, I say, of course. They're one of the better defense, so I can't even say that they're a soft defense. But it's just still, it's money time. And good quarterbacks are supposed to go get it. And I feel like they did a lot of jostling back and forth, and it kind of made it into a good game because neither one of them could get anything done in the fourth quarter to end the game. So ended up going to overtime, and J.K. Dobbins gets it. I'm glad we cashed. Somebody was tweeting saying that the Chargers have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and I said, "Are you crazy? I don't think so at all."
What the weed they smoking?
Yeah, I don't know, because their receiving core isn't good enough. You can't trust those guys at receiver for them. They got two dudes who really always have the drops, and that's Quinn Johnston and Josh Palmer. They can't catch a cold, neither one of those dudes. Herbert puts it right on them, and they still drop. So that's why I say it's a little misleading in his number, because he did have some drops, but he also had some misses. Like, it was a big play they could have hit to McConkey in regulation, aired him, threw it right over his head, and it would have got them in field goal range. So luckily, they're able to hold on and get the win on the big run by J.K. Dobbins to end everything in L.A. Entertaining game for sure.
Cino, your thoughts on Joe Burrow?
Man, they got some work to do, and Jamar Chase, he done with that organization look like. But let's celebrate the Chargers, man. They moved to 7-3. That's their best record since 2018. And the Bengals, they just can't get it together. I think this is like their fifth game. They lost by 7 or fewer points. They right there. They just can't. They can't finish. They can't capitalize. And like you said, spread it all comes down to coaching.
Really too bad for me as a guy like Joe Burrow. He's in that situation. Talk to me about the Texans' easy win over the Cowboys 5-star. I'll be right back.
Okay, that was a layup. I had first half on that one, and then we took the second half too, just because you could see that it wasn't any way that Cooper Rush was going to move the ball consistently against the Texas defense. Like, no matter what they tried to do to help Dallas on that one, it just wasn't going to happen. And I also told you guys early in the year, if you remember, the moment that Jerry Jones did that video with Jamie Foxx and said that out-of-line comment, the NFL has been against them ever since. It don't matter if the public betting against them or what, they don't care. They're not going to give them any calls, any help this year, none of that, because he's kind of like the odd man out. It's a new day and things are changing. It's a shift, and he still has that old mindset. And I think that Goodell is running from that. And, I've been even hearing some press releases lately about the Cowboys aren't America's team. Kansas City is America's team. This is why, and all these write-ups and pieces about it. But as you said about the Chargers, let's concentrate on, how good of a game that the Texans played. Derek Stingley, which is me and Cino's boy, we loved it.
Boy, Stingley was all over the place. LSU.
We never had a doubt when they drafted him. That's when I knew that Nick Caserio knew what he was doing when he took Stingley over Sauce Gardner. I saw, this man, he really understands football.
Maybe it was the injury, thing with Stingley. But, oh, my God. And now, look, I love the Texans this game, right? I even said it on the show. The market fooled the shit out of me. Look, y'all, the line did not want to move. All the money that was coming on the Texans, they was just piling. I'm like, why the book just sitting? I'm like, so y'all going to give me the extra half? So I pivoted a little bit. We didn't slam nothing like that. It was only a unit. But in those situations, I'm looking like, why didn't Mike McCarthy kick the damn extra point? like
that changed everything.
That changed the whole game.
It got so janky. We won the first half off the best kicker in the
Cowboys
history of Dallas missing a 20-yard field goal,
and he slipped. When that happened, I said,
that jank on him. That jank just on him. Then they had some metal fell out the sky from the top of the stadium right before it almost hurt somebody. Before the game started too. So
after that, he just casually comes in and kicks a 63, 64-yard field goal. And Stingley, boom, hits the helmet. That probably was the best thing Stingley could have did all game. Mike McCarthy, instead of taking the damn extra points, what does he do? We're gonna go try to score a touchdown. And they get nothing out of that situation.
Third quarter.
It was just all bad, man. Shout out to the Texans. Defense. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. CJ Stroud, he's not looking like the same Stroud we've seen. I think he get it all together, but I was proud the Texans got that win.
But even though he isn't, he's, I want to say, fourth in the league in passing yards. So his sophomore slump is better than a lot of guys' season. So that's because of the high standards that we set for CJ, and that's good. That even in a slump year for him, it's a lot better than the average quarterback. He's still a true top 10 quarterback. Joe Mixon, we were able to win on the props. We bet Joe Mixon to score a touchdown, to go over 100 yards. That was a nice one, like plus 300. We also bet Cooper Rush would throw for a touchdown pass. We were saved on that one. My young boy went house for him because he wouldn't have threw one if Cavante Turpin wouldn't have took that one to the house. Shout out Rose City on that one, man. But just a really profitable game for us. You love these easy ones like that, man, when it's just a clear advantage and it's just a beatdown. I think it's coming again. I think the Washington is going to beat the hell out of the Cowboys. So I'll be laying those -10 most likely this weekend with the Commanders.
Yeah, and that should be a fun one. And of course, we'll be talking about that. But it's time. Let us move into the present. And we got a lot of college football to break down.
Let's do it.
So talk to me. First game, we got Buffalo taking on Eastern Michigan tonight. How are we approaching this one? It's a -1 for Eastern Michigan.
We're going to go with Buffalo on this one. The thing that makes it clear to me to ride with Buffalo on this game, even though they aren't world beaters, it's just simply about me having the opportunities to fade Eastern Michigan's quarterback. Cole Snyder just isn't a good player, man. He isn't a good player. He's a turnover machine. He's a turnover waiting to happen. He's thrown now 6 interceptions in the last 4 games, and I expect more of those to come. As I said, Buffalo isn't a world beater. They aren't, the best of the best, but what they do have is decent quarterback, and they have a quarterback who is also a really good playmaker, Agbana. I've seen him play several times to CJ Agbana. Really good athlete, man. Really good athlete. Also pretty good in the passing game. More of a big play guy. And I think he makes enough big plays tonight to push Buffalo over the top. Eastern Michigan has lost, I think, 3 games in a row now. And as I said, Cole Snyder just isn't good. He'll be playing against the Buffalo team that he transferred from. So we'll see if that Buffalo defense is able to get some get back at him for leaving the school and leaving them high and dry, or if Cole Snyder is able to make his old team pay. Me personally, I'm betting on Buffalo, so give me Buffalo money line.
Sino, your thoughts on this game?
Big brother, he couldn't have broke that down no better. I agree with him. I keep it simple like this. Eastern Michigan, they lost to Toledo, right, by 1. Buffalo beat Toledo by 15. Buffalo coming tonight. I agree with you on that one, big brother.
All right, next game we got Ohio. I got them plus 1.5 right now offshore. They'll be taking on Toledo. What are you doing in this one, 5-star?
This is a real trap game right here, man. These are 2 teams who are pretty much identical when you look at them. But at the end of the day, Ohio is a little bit more talented, man. They got a quarterback in Navarro who can run around. He can do some things. Then you got Toledo. Now you get Gleason with his first year being the man. He was the backup there for about 2 seasons. Man, the market's just telling me I got to go with Toledo at home on this one. I know that Ohio, by the numbers, is the better team. I know also that Ohio been pretty successful in the series, but the last 2 have been all Toledo, man. And I think that they continue that at home. Some teams just have other teams' numbers. This is a big game. This is for the conference, so you're going to see the best of both these teams. I just still think that their home field advantage will be just enough to get Toledo over the hump in this one. So give me Toledo at home. I'm going to be contrarian to the public on this one. I'm going with Toledo.
What are your thoughts on this one, Sino?
Just looking at it, Toledo, look, they covered just 1 of the spread in their last 3 games. And they averaging, they're allowing 26 points per game. I think it's going to be close, man. And anytime 2 Ohio teams play against each other, it's like Louisiana. It's either over, it's going to be tight. So I have to lean the Bobcats with the +3 in this one.
Oh, is it up to 3? Because I'm seeing,
I only got 1.5.
Yeah, I got 1.5, It's Ohio 1.5. You want the 1.5?
Well, yeah, I lean Ohio 1.5.
Okay.
All right. Let's move to the association tonight. The Chicago Bulls will be in Milwaukee. They're taking on the Bucks. The Bucks started really bad. I think they lost 8 of their first 10 games. They've gotten a little better. I think they're 4-4 since then. Their most recent game, they defeated Houston. Kind of lucky there towards the end as the refs missed a call on the game winner where Giannis was out of bounds. But it was a close game. It could have gone either way.
Damn.
And all right. Well, going into tonight, though, also this total bet all the way up to 240. It was 237 yesterday. I agree with that market move right there. Five-star, we'll start with you. Do you have any thoughts on Giannis and the Bucks hosting Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls?
A lot going on in Milwaukee. I kind of figured this was going to happen. I don't think Lillard and Giannis, I don't think that they dislike each other, but I don't think that they got personalities that mesh well. So I don't think they're talking a lot in that locker room. I think they live completely two different lives. Because as you know, Lillard is turned and still on the young. He hip-hop, hanging, living. Being a single NBA basketball player, Giannis is married with multiple kids and, just want to
I think
go.
Lillard's married, actually.
Is he? No.
I think so.
He got remarried next week. He just got
divorced. He got divorced?
Yeah, he lived
running around with Glorilla.
My bad.
He had been with since like high school. So yeah, they got divorced. Yeah, Lillard got divorced. Been divorced now. I want to say maybe a year now.
I don't know, but he running around with Glorilla. I know he ain't.
Yeah, he doing all types of stuff. He lives it up. So that's what I'm saying. Lillard turned. He young and turned. So I never thought that their personality. It just is crazy to me that they would take away Drew Holiday from that team when he meshed so well with Middleton and Giannis. They all were kind of like the same type of professionals, Bud, the same type of professional coach. Just a really good team they messed up. And I think that they're going to have that same situation that Phoenix dealt with taking a couple years to get their stuff back together because you had it right and you messed it up. You remember when the Suns had Bridges, they had Cam Johnson, they had a young coach, and everything was going well. They had just drafted Ayton, and they busted that whole team up, making some bad moves, and that's what the Bucks have done right now. I'm not betting the Bucks at this moment. For one, Doc Rivers just never been a coach that I bet. I always bet against them, so I'm gonna continue to do that. You know how I do. If I'm taking the dog, I'm going first half. The Bucks tend to be one of those teams that play better in the second half as the game goes, and it's really winning time. They're veterans. They kind of pace themselves. And I think the Chicago young guns that come out shooting and playing a little bit faster than them, really impressive backcourt they got over there. A couple guys they got that's playing guard for the Bulls that I like a lot. And, I've always liked Billy Donovan. So give me the Bulls on this one first half. I think it's +5 or something, +4.5.
Yeah, I'm not sure the first half. I know it's +8 for the game. Sino, what are your thoughts?
I got +8 in the hook right here. That's the best line. That's what I'm taking tonight. I'm riding with Billy Donovan again. I can't trust Doc Rivers in these situations, and I faded the Bulls the other night. I took the Detroit Pistons. The Bulls, they're looking for back-to-back wins, getting it back on track. And from behind the arc, they letting it fly. And I just feel like they finally getting a stroke. And first half a good play, and again I like full game. But I'm gonna take full game just in case some jank going on anywhere.
All right,
it's 4.5, guys. So my official play is Bulls first half +4.5.
And let's go. I make this an official one. First official play from Cino. Bulls +8.5. Let's go.
All right. I'm with you guys on the Bulls there. I like the over at yesterday's number a lot more than today's, but I'd still lean the over if I got involved. The Indiana Pacers are traveling to Houston to take on the Rockets. Pacers, I've had problems projecting them this year. They average like 110 points a game, but it feels like they either get 130 or 90. They're a really inconsistent team. Houston, of course, will be looking to bounce back after that loss. They come into Milwaukee on a 5-game winning streak. Lost a tough game. Seems like a great opportunity for them to bounce back. However, 6.5 is a lot of points. Do you think the Pacers keep this close, or do you think this is a Rockets blowout, 5-star?
If the Pacers weren't coming off a blowout, I would bet the Rockets first half on this one because the Rockets have been dynamite in the first half. But I like the Pacers probably on this one, man. I hope the Rockets win the game, but I can easily see with over 2 baskets as the spread, the Pacers covering this, man. Pacers just came off a really embarrassing loss. Also, Jalen Green is sick, so they don't know if he's going to play or not tonight, but he probably will play. But still, with that said, I like Indiana, man. I think that Indiana's hungry in this one. They should have their full arsenal of players with them, and went up to 7 actually now. So yeah, I'd definitely be on Indiana +7 if I was going to play this. I don't, I don't bet against my team, so I won't be playing it. But head to head, in the last 10, the Pacers are 9-1 and 6-2-2 against the spread. They've dominated this series, so they're going to feel a lot of confidence when they show up in Houston. Might be a get-right spot for them against a young team. Houston has won 6 straight, very confident over there, but I'm sure that the Pacers feel like that they need this one. And like I said, they've had a lot of really good times playing in Houston. And then think about their coach. He coached Dallas for a really long time, and he's really used to playing against the Rockets, and it's always been a rivalry for his. We know the Rockets play a lot of defense, so I think for one of the few times offense beats defense tonight, I'm going with the Pacers as a lean +7.
Yeah, so one thing I'd say about Jalen Green, if there's any team that can absorb the loss of a starter, it's the depth of the Houston Rockets. They've done a good job cultivating the bench, and talk about how coaching is not just calling plays, it's developing players, and you see that with the Doka in Houston right now. Big on Houston. I've been backing them a lot this year. The spread might be a little too much. What are your thoughts,
Nope. Spread is perfect. Pace has been struggling. They 2-6 away from home? Nothing. Houston just lost they gained by a buzzer beater, one bucket, like for real, to the Milwaukee Bucks, who have to get their stuff together in the game. They have to win. And you about to give me again 6.5. Y'all about to learn. Another official play from Cino. Rockets -6.5. Let's go.
Ooh, Cino laying it with the Houston Rockets. Guys, I'm going to add a game to this because I want about something that happened. The NBA, they talk more about the rumors and stuff than the actual games. But I got to add this. Philadelphia 76ers are laying 3.5 in Memphis to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies coming off that disappointing loss yesterday to the Nuggets in the NBA Cups where they were 5.5-point favorites. Now they're catching 3.5. But 5-star, the reason I bring this game up is we hear about the players-only meeting in which Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid for being late and not taking team activities seriously. What are your thoughts on betting a team after a players-only meeting? Do you think this helped the 76ers get their mind right? Or do you think this is just further evidence of corrosion going on in Philadelphia? What are your thoughts on the 76ers?
This kind of reminds you of when young Kobe was dealing with Shaq. Big guys, man, got a lot of weight that they're carrying around. They're big dudes. They're not going to be all spry like a little guard is. So that has no excuse, though, for being late to meetings and things like that and not taking things serious. And I think Joel Embiid kind of is like Shaq. That's those big, lovable guys who, pretty much had the world handed to them after people figured out that they could play a sport really well. And, with that comes entitlement. And sometimes the entitlement, along with them being already big guys who are naturally lethargic, makes it where they come off as lazy, man, and just being irresponsible as well by not being on time for meetings. Maxey has that Kobe mentality, that Mamba mentality, like you want to do things right and do it the right way. And now, all these years later, you hear Shaq saying that he wished so bad that he would have listened to Kobe because they would have won so many more championships if he would have took heed to what he was saying as a young boy instead of like, shut up, rookie, shut up, young boy, talking to me about that and how I'm moving. Hopefully Embiid does the same thing. You can learn a lot from a dummy. Like, it's wisdom can come from the strangest places. And when someone's telling you something right, it's right, regardless who the messenger is. So I hope that Embiid takes that more serious. He acts like he's trying to force his way out of Philly. It seems like the little comments he said to the reporter about all I've done for this city and all that type of stuff, to me, it sounds like he's not happy in Philadelphia. So we'll give him Sengun. Come on, bring him to Houston.
I don't know. I think I might rather have Sengun. My concern
Hell
for
no.
Embiid. No, listen. I'm not talking about on the court. I'm talking about why is he out right now? They're saying he might have the same knee condition as Kawhi Leonard. Right?
Yeah, that's that. I don't want to play for this organization. Give me my money.
It's a degenerative knee condition where it's just never going to get better. I just don't know how much more time he's got in the league. He's a big body. He falls on the floor way too much. I mean, he doesn't play like a 7-footer, that's for sure. And I'm just worried about that.
He can bulldog when he wants to. I've seen him.
No, he can, and that's what pisses me off. He needs to get down low and realize how big he is.
He practices. He's the only guy who's his size who has a Kobe drill he does, a Jordan drill, and a Dream drill. So he wants to show his skills. This is a new league. He be trying to show off his skills, man.
I know. And when it comes to skills, I would agree with you. My concern is just that knee's never going to get better. Just like if you're a Clippers fan, you got to be disappointed in that contract with Leonard because it just feels like you're toast until he retires. So, what are your thoughts here on the 76ers? Do you think they bounce back after this players-only meeting, or is this franchise just in trouble and is the season going down the drain?
That's a great question, Spread. I don't know. It could go either way. Because again, man, as players and professional athletes, just like us, man, we have pride when we do this. Like, because we take pride in our work and we go out every day, and trying to satisfy the people and let our results speak for themselves. But just the energy not right in that locker room. And now you gonna give these guys 4 points in Memphis. I don't know. Games like this, I just play the over. Because I think both teams will come out. They went up from 218 to 224. Yeah, we play that. Just
Yeah.
take the over. Yeah, I lean over 224 in this game. And they should score maybe 230, 230, 235, something of that nature. Yeah, this situation, just play the over. It's go either way. It's too tight.
All right, and Thursday, the NC State Wolfpack takes on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets laying 8.5. How are we approaching this one? Do I need to make a bet right now?
No, we're gonna hold off and see how the market does on this one. What I do like about Georgia Tech is they've been a proven team. They've had some really good wins this season. Knocked off Miami, so we'll see how they come back from such an impressive win. And if they are, able to fight their way to a really good bowl, I don't think that they can make the playoffs at this time now. But on the other side, you got an NC State team that's probably like a year away. Dave Dorn really does a good team, always coaching that team. He's a really, really good coach. They got a young boy over there, quarterback. Right now, he's still kind of figuring it out and how to play, but he's going to be good. He's 6'6", 190, long kid, but he's a really good passer. Had a bad game last week, but before that, he's been really efficient with the ball. I think he got a little bit too happy off of a successful start against Stanford when he was able to put up 59 points. But his name is C.J. Bailey. Keep an eye on C.J. Bailey at NC State. I think he has a really bright future over there. As I said, now how does Georgia Tech react to the fact that, they had the biggest upset in their university in a long time? They thought it was Florida State, but now they see Florida State isn't worth a damn. So that wasn't a big win like they thought it was going to be. But them beating Miami definitely was actually a big win. Tough games, I said, I'll let the market shake out. But anytime they giving away them type of points on the road, it seems like it's almost a give for me to go on and take the points always, But as I said, as more information comes, we'll definitely see, and we'll see which way we're going to go on this. As for now, it just seems like really a lot of points to be given up on a short week at home. So I don't think Georgia Tech is that much better than NC State. So we'll see. It's not an official play. I'll tweet you guys about it as the market kind of shifts and shakes its way out.
Your thoughts,
Georgia Tech ran all over Miami. I think it's going to be some points in this game scored, and I'm looking at the line right now from 54.5 to 52. Y'all see no love these spots. We taking the over in this game. That's another official play from Sino. So we have 3 of them so far. Yep, over 52 in this game. Free money.
All right. Finally, last game on the docket is tomorrow night's football game. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. What's the line out to now? Is it -4? It was 3.5 when I wrote this game up earlier this week. I don't see how you take the Browns here. I'm not saying you have to bet the Steelers, but to me, it's Steelers or pass. I'm not getting involved with this Cleveland team. They got smoked by the Saints, and the way the Steelers are playing right now, there's no way I could take Cleveland. What are your thoughts, 5-star?
And it's just no way in hell that Cleveland is going to cover this game unless it's some super, super extra jank from the refs, because I don't think they can even help them. And the reason why is Jameis Winston already is a turnover machine. He's always been like that. That's why he's better as a backup and being a guy that kind of motivates them being on the field. His release has always been, it takes too long for him to get the ball out of his hand. His release is a windup. Kind of the same problems that we saw in the past from other quarterbacks. That's why the guy became the OC for Tampa Bay, didn't work out, and he was a high draft pick as well. He ended up becoming the coach, because you cannot have a long windup in the pocket, especially nowadays with how fast these defensive linemen are and these edge rushers, and especially the Steelers. So I expect Winston to turn the ball over several times in this game, and it's going to give short fields for that Steelers offense, who's kind of figuring his way out. I'm sure they're going to be motivated. I'm sure Russell Wilson is talking to him all week about we didn't score a touchdown. Even though we won, we didn't perform the way that we should have with us not getting into the end zone. So I definitely play the Steelers on this game. Probably just money line to be for sure. But I'll also play Najee Harris to score a touchdown, and I'd also play Najee Harris to score 2 touchdowns. Najee is playing really well this year, and he's been the difference to me and them having more burst in that offense. If you remember preseason, I was worried about him because I thought he maybe did like Trent Richardson and gave his best years to Alabama, but he did some good, working out in the offseason, or either he had a surgery and fixed whatever was wrong, and he looks more like the guy that he was coming out of school in the Bay Area in California and also at Alabama. Just a really good player. So I'll bet Najee Harris to score a touchdown on this one.
All right. Cino, your thoughts there on the Cleveland Browns hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Man, free money. Y'all want another raw play? Pittsburgh Steelers -3.5. Official raw play. That's what we rolling with.
All right. Fair enough. That was quick. That was easy. It's time for the ball and parlay. 5 stars. Start with you. What's your favorite play of all the games we've discussed?
Man, it's a lot of good games out here to play tonight. So many, almost too many to pick from. But I think I'm going to give out everyone the Bulls first half +4.5. I just think the Chicago starts well. And as I said before, it's nothing that impresses me about that Milwaukee team. I don't even like the roster that they put together. And you're dealing with 2 veterans once again, like Giannis and Lillard, who tend to not really, push themselves until the end of the game. That's when they usually try to go on and finish and win the game. But early, they tend to be a little lackadaisical. And as Cino said, the Bulls have been lights out from the 3-point line. You might even want to look at Kobe White over on his 3-pointers. He's been firing them up, and he's been knocking them down, man. And just a lot of really good movement with their team. As you know, they went and got the Australian kid from OKC and brought him over there. He really knows how to run Billy Donovan's offense and get guys open for shots. I think that the Bulls hit some threes early and are able to maybe even have a lead at halftime. So give me the Bulls first half +4.5.
All right. You're on the Bulls. Cino, what do you like?
I gave out a lot of plays, but we're going to keep it like this. If we go back to one of the breakdowns, the Georgia Tech game tomorrow night. Again, the market, they pushing that number down. I'm taking that. We going over. I think both teams go back and forth to push it to like 60, something like that. Over 52. Y'all get on that right now. Because once I send it out, trust me, it's going back up to 54.
All right. That's Cino's play. I'm going to stick to the association, and I'm going to go with the game that we didn't talk about. But I'm going to take the Portland Trailblazers +12 tonight.
Jesus Christ.
And you like that or no?
Why? Explain, please.
Because the Thunder are a smaller team, and they had that tough game against San Antonio last night. And if it wasn't the cup, I think they would have pulled it. I think they would have pulled it back. But they ran their starters all the way to the edge. They actually cut it to 6 with about 2 minutes to go, but they just couldn't get it done. But I think that they left a lot on the floor last night. And then we have a Portland team that when you're creating these numbers, I don't think you're factoring in how improved they are. They started off the season terribly. They had a couple 50-point losses, which really destroys their net rating. Now they have Robert Williams back in the lineup. And last night when you watched OKC play, the big issue is the lack of size. I was thinking, why didn't they not have 3 centers on their roster? Because they started with Holmgren and Hartenstein, and they don't have a 3rd center. They're missing centers right now. They're forcing Jalen Williams, who's a great player, but he's out there playing at center. And with Robert Williams back in the lineup, I think this Blazers team is better than their net rating and their numbers that they use to create these lines suggest. So I'm taking a fatigue. I'm, betting against the fatigue of the Thunder and just that the Blazers can keep it close. Another thing, if you want to go with something with 5-star on these underdogs, I wouldn't mind playing the first quarter and the first half too, because I wouldn't be surprised to see, a slow start there for the Thunder. However, because of the fatigue, I don't mind playing the full game as well. So give me the Blazers +12.
I like that first quarter play with the Blazers. I love that one.
Yeah.
All right, so you heard spread. He's on the Portland Trail Blazers. And Cino says tomorrow the Georgia Tech and NC State goes over. And I'm with the Bulls tonight. I like what I've seen from Billy Donovan and those guys, Zach LaVine. And I think that they're able to stand it early and maybe even pull out a money line first half against the Milwaukee Bucks. Always great to chop it up with you guys. We went a little long, but we always do about an hour and 30 on the Wednesday show to break down everything, anything for the people before we get out of the spread.
Man, I'm excited for this weekend because we'll have the NBA Cup on Friday, and some people don't like it, but I think it's great. It's hard for me to bet, though, because these teams, it's different. They push it till the end. They run up the scores. But you keep that in mind and try not to take too many unders in that cup. And then, of course, the great weekend where we've continued to dominate college football, and we're going to have a lot of great NFL matchups to talk about this Sunday.
It's a great weekend for college football. I can't wait till this weekend. It's going to be
it's better than the NFL. The NFL slate really isn't that good. Last weekend was
going to be some outstanding games. Indiana at Ohio State is one that I cannot wait to put my eyes on and see how Cinietti does at the old horseshoe. Anything for the people before we get out of this,
man, appreciate all the love, man. Ken, follow us on X. I'm hitting over 67% on there. It's free money, man. Shout out to the Waging World.
Shout out to the Waging World, and shout out to you guys. You are the Waging World. Hit that like button right now. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your homies, anyone that you care about who enjoys betting sports and really want to win. Come over here for the best analysis, great vibes, and the most free winners. Always, we do this for you. It's us versus the machine. We'll see you guys on Friday. This is the Waging World. And as always, I dedicate this show to the greatest Houston sports fan that I know, and that's my father, John H. Lindsay.